Subscribe and click the bell icon for the latest updates from Express Drives.
The year 2019 hasn't been kind to the automotive industry, but that hasn't stopped car makers from launching new models. And this year, we have already seen a lot of big and important launches. And there will be many more throughout the year, but this one that we have with us here today is probably the biggest launch of the year. And I say that because this is not the launch of just the Kia Seltos. It's not the introduction of just a model, but also a brand. This is the first car, the first model from Kia that will provide the Kia experience to the consumers in India. So does it live up to the expectations or not? What does it have that really works well? What does not? Well, that's what we're going to tell you over the next few minutes. So sit back and enjoy the show. So let's just get off to the design part of this one. Now, if you look at the Seltos, well, it is absolutely stunning to look at. It is a completely fresh design. So there is nothing else out in the market which you can say, okay, this looks like that or that looks like this. No, absolutely not. It's a totally fresh design and it is a good looking one. Now, if you look at the front, well, this one is the GT line that we are driving. So it's got a little more sporty appeal than the tech line. So, but the overall design is largely same across variants. The front, again, it's a sharp front, lot of action around. If you look at it, there's this chrome here, lots of chrome. I'm sure most of you will love the fact that there's loads of chromes here. The grille, again, it's a very angular grille. It's got a piano black finish, looks good. And of course, if you look at the headlamps, the LED, it's got LED DRLs, and of course the design, if you look at the fog lamps, again, these are LED units as well. All of this bears a very sharp and a striking design. If you combine it with the hood, again, the hood has got some strong muscular creases here. Now, within all this sharp design that you see at the front, there's one thing that sets the Seltos apart from any other car out there in the market, and that's the DRL and the LED units it's got up front. Now, in most cars, you do get LED DRLs these days, but if you look at it, in the Seltos, it runs right across, and it's only under the badge that you don't have it, so it's got a very good seamless effect to it. Even the indicators, if you see, the indicators are placed below the headlamp unit. So overall, it's a very different approach to headlamp design, and it's a fresh one and it looks good. Now, if you talk about the side profile of the Seltos, well, just like the front, again, it is very sharp and angular, and you can see a lot of creases, a lot of action happening around. Well, to start off with, there are these stunning alloy wheels. Well, this is exclusive to the GT line. If you talk about the tech line, they've got a different design and a slightly smaller size. If you talk about the body lines, again, there is a noticeable shoulder line. It's not too loud, but yes, it's there. There's a floating roof again, so gives some dynamism to the overall design. There are roof rails as well to give it a bit of sportiness, and there's some chrome, which of course most Indians love. Moving further back, you do get a spoiler, which is pretty much the norm these days. And if you talk about the tail lamps, again, just like the headlamps, these are quite sharp looking, have a sporty effect. The cluster inside is quite nice to look at, and the way Kia calls it, it's got a heartbeat design, which I'm sure you can notice the way your heartbeat goes on a graph. Even the rear bumper with the body claddings with the skid plate, again, looks the part. So overall, the Seltos does come across as a very sporty and a fresh design in the compact SUV segment. So now let's talk about the interiors of the Kia Seltos. Well, the moment you step inside the cabin, it is a very refreshing and a welcoming sight. Now, to start off, what will catch your attention first is the center console here, and particularly the infotainment screen. Now, this is a 10.25-inch color touch screen, and it's got a very nice, impressive premium design. So if you look at the bezels around it, it's got a very premium feel to it. Even the display is nice. The user interface is quite easy to operate. It's a simple system to operate. The touch response is nice, so there's no lag if you talk about the touch response. Now, in terms of features, you do get access to Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and the party piece here is Kia's Yuvo app. Now, this is a connectivity app that through the help of an embedded SIM, gives you access to a host of internet features. Now these are features that help you in terms of connectivity, in terms of safety, and in terms of vehicle maintenance as well. Now we will talk about those at length in a bit, but if you talk about the rest of the interior as well, if I talk about the dashboard is a good looking unit. In the center you've got the soft touch material, adds a bit of premium quotient to the overall cabin appeal. The plastic quality again used both top and bottom is nice, so it again adds to that premium feel. Now it's also got this piano black finish here. It's around this infotainment screen, in the center console, and even in the lower part of the center console. Looks good, looks premium, but the only slight issue with this is that when you use it on a day-to-day basis, you will end up with a lot of fingerprint marks, and that means you will have to clean it quite frequently. Now the variant that we are sitting in right now, this is the diesel one, this is the tech line. But if you opt for the GT line with the 1.4 GDI, well, the difference in dashboard is that while you have a dual color tone here, you get an all black interior there. So everything around here is black, even the seats are black, the seat pattern is different, and there is a lot of difference in features as well, which we will talk about shortly. But right now, sticking to seats, well, the seats themselves are quite nice. Across variants you get leatherette seats, so they feel premium. The support on the sides is quite nice, even the padding, the cushioning is good. So when you're pushing the car, again, that time too you get good support, and the sense of space is quite nice. You have a sunroof to just add to that feeling of airiness inside the cabin. And if you talk about the space integration, that is also quite nice. You can easily store away 1 liter bottles and still be left with space for a lot of small knickknacks. The glove box itself is again quite voluminous, so you can put in a bit of stuff here. You've got some space here, you can put your wallet or a phone here. You also have wireless charging, which is it supports fast charging, so you can easily charge your phone here. In addition, you also get a fast charging USB port, and there's a 12-volt socket as well, and you all still are left with one more USB jack. So a lot of options to charge your devices and listen to your favorite music on the go. The instrument cluster, well, it is a combination of digital and analog units. So at the center what you have is a digital screen, gives you access to a host of information, so you can see everything ranging from your outside temperature to the trip meter, odometer, your range, expected range based on the fuel you have, average speed, average fuel consumption, even your tire pressure monitoring system. All of that information can be accessed, and this is flanked on both sides by 2 circular pods, which are analog units for the speedometer, the fuel gauge, and of course on the left you have the tachometer with the temperature gauge for the engine. So we've been talking a lot about the features inside the Seltos, and well, there are a lot. Now one of the notable features here is the electrically cooled seat. So this proves to be a big boon for people living up north, especially in the hot times. So in hot warm days, this really comes in handy when you get a cool seat to sit on. And of course there is the option of an electrically powered seat for the driver as well. But the big miss out here is that if you opt for the DCT with the GDI engine, which is the fun to drive combination, you will miss out on some features such as the cooled seats, electrically powered seats. Well, you won't get them in the GT line, and of course the sunroof's not there as well. So now in the rear seat of the Seltos, and well, the moment you step here, you know that there is an advantage the Seltos holds over its rivals. Now that is because the Seltos has a long wheelbase, and this long wheelbase and extra width is what gives it the edge in terms of space at the rear. Now it of course has the segment leading leg room. So well, I'm 5 feet 8 inches for reference, and with the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference, there's a lot of space. I cannot even use the entire space. Despite a sporty design, there's no steeply sloping roof, and as a result of that, there's no compromise in terms of headroom, so a lot of headroom. So even someone who's tall, someone who's say about 6 feet tall, will not have any problem in terms of space. The seat itself is quite nice. Again, the cushioning, just like the front, is nice. So if you're going to be here for a long duration, it's not going to be a problem at all. In fact, it's going to be a very comfortable experience. The door pockets have space again, so you can put in a lot of stuff. And there's the center armrest. Again, it's got a soft padding. So all of this just gives you a very good experience, a very good in-cabin experience. So at the front, you've got a lot of technology, it's completely loaded, and at the rear, it's all about comfort. And adding to this comfort are some other features wherein you get a charging socket here for USB, and the smart feature here is a display. So this display, it's a digital display. It shows you real-time data in terms of the smart pure air system, that is the air purifier, which is working all the time to give you access to clean air inside the cabin. Now the feature list hasn't ended here, because like I told you, there are a lot of features. Now one other before we end is the blind here. Again, this is a segment first, and there are a lot of other segment first features. Now starting off is the thing with the UVO. The UVO is the app. So like I told you earlier, it gives you access through an embedded SIM to a lot of features. So overall, there's a lot that the car offers to you in terms of experience. And Kia says there's a global first feature in it that no other Kia car in the world has it, and that's the smart purifier that I just told you about. This is something that has been developed in India for India. So that is a really good thing, especially if you are someone who's staying in Delhi like me. Now, if I talk about the features, well, there are quite a lot. In the UO, there are 37 smart features. I'll quickly tell you. You get navigation, you get live car tracking, car location sharing, destination sharing from the car, live traffic information, destination set with schedule, find my car, desired destination search, set destination route, auto collision notification, SOS emergency assistance, panic notification, roadside assistance, stolen vehicle notifications. In terms of vehicle management, you get vehicle health report, auto diagnostic alert, manual diagnostic alert, maintenance alert. That's a lot. So with all this said and done, there's one party piece still left, and that is what's going to make the audiophiles happy, and that's the Bose audio system that you get in the Seltos. It's a 400 watt system, so that's pretty impressive in terms of output, and you get an 8 speaker layout with a center speaker up front as well. The sound quality is quite impressive, and it comes with a display. It comes with lighting effects. So basically, you can customize the lighting color and the way the lighting plays around inside the cabin, and you also have ambient lighting as well. So if you couple of that with the impressive audio system, you get a very good and impressive effect overall in terms of enjoying the music. Well, now let's get down to the driving bit of the Seltos, and that's a critical one. Now, this is an area where Kia has done a lot of homework, and it shows, because you get 3 engine options, and each of them gives you access to an automatic option as well. Now, this is something that the competition does not have. Now, the engines on offer are a 1.5 liter petrol and a 1.5 liter diesel unit. Now, these give you power outputs of about 115 PS or 113 horsepower, and there's also a 1.4 liter GDI engine. It's a turbocharged petrol motor, and this gives you 140 horsepower. And apart from the fact that all of these engines come with an automatic transmission or a 6-speed manual, the center of attraction with the GDI engine is that you get the option of a 7-speed DCT. So if you are someone who loves driving or are an auto enthusiast, well, this combination of a turbocharged petrol motor along with a 7-speed DCT is surely going to rev up a lot of excitement in you. But then again, that's all on paper. A lot of times we've seen that DCTs don't really work that well, with the exception of DSG from Volkswagen. Not all of them work really well in real world conditions. But that is not the case with the Seltos, fortunately. The DCT in the Seltos works like a charm. So you do not really have to wait for it to come to a boil and then only you start getting quick shifts. Nothing of that sort. It's not overly tuned for fuel efficiency as well. So it's not always or not desperately hunting for a higher gear. So that doesn't ruin the driving experience as well. You also get driving modes. So you can choose between normal, eco, if you want to save some fuel, and sport. Now these modes not only alter the throttle performance, the engine performance, they also alter the dynamics in terms of the steering. So the moment you switch to the sport mode, the steering weighs up a lot more than it would in the eco or the comfort mode, and you get a sharper response from the throttle. So yes, it is a good combination, and the motor itself is very impressive. I mean, the power comes in quite early, despite it being a turbocharged unit, you do not really experience any lag or any sort of you do not have to wait for the power to come in. If you talk about the diesel that we're driving right now, again, it's a good unit. It's got adequate power. There's a lot of low-end torque, of course, being a diesel, so drivability is quite nice. Now right now we're driving the one that has a manual 6-speed transmission, so the gearbox in this has been mated well to the engine. The ratios are set well, so that means that you do not have to frequently downshift even in slow moving traffic. The gearbox itself is quite easy and smooth to operate. The throws aren't long and the operation is very smooth. Apart from the fact that the motor itself is quite smooth, be it the GDI engine or even the diesel that we are driving right now, the NVH insulation is so nice that there's not much of outside environment sounds that really filter inside the cabin. So that's a really nice thing if you look at it from the perspective that Kia Seltos is being positioned as a premium compact SUV. So it just lives up to those premium expectations. Now, for a car that offers good engine options, gives you good gearbox options, and comes with a turbocharged petrol motor and a DCT, well, it is mandatory that it should have good dynamics. So in terms of handling, well, the Seltos is quite impressive. So despite the fact that this is an SUV and it is dimensionally larger than its rivals, there is not much of a body roll that you experience when you go around corners. There is some, but it's not to the point where it'll make you feel uncomfortable. The ride quality is spot on. It's very nice. It's almost perfect balance between comfort and sportiness. So when you're going over bad surfaces or potholes or joints, expansion joints on flyovers, well, all of it is filtered out very well and very less of it comes inside the cabin. In terms of high-speed stability, again, the Seltos is quite impressive, and if you are braking hard from a high speed, again, even during that panic moment, the car reacts very nicely. It does not sway away from the line much, and you always feel you're in control of the vehicle, and that is what just adds a lot more to the safety quotient of the vehicle. Talking of safety, well, the Seltos does live up to expectations in that department as well. Now, the safety kit you get will vary from variant to variant, and there are a lot of variants. But if you opt for the higher variants, the best that you will get in terms of safety includes features such as 6 airbags. You also get traction control, ABS with EBD, and there's hill start assist as well. Kia also claims that the structure of the vehicle itself uses a lot of high strength steel, so that should make the vehicle safer in case of any unfortunate crash. And you also get rear parking sensors along with the camera, which gives you dynamic grid lines, which makes parking or getting in and out of tight spaces a breeze. Now, another good thing about the Seltos is that from day one, that is when it goes on sale, it is BS6 ready. Now, BS6 ready is, as in it's not just upgradable to BS6, it is already compliant with BS6 norms, but that doesn't mean you cannot run it on BS4 fuel. So you can right now run it on BS4 fuel, and eventually when in April 2020 BS6 norms come into compliance, well, that time this car will already be compliant with those norms. So by now we've already given you a big download on what the Kia Seltos offers, whatever features it's got, what's good about it, what it lacks, and what its capabilities are. So if I have to summarize the overall Seltos experience, it is quite an impressive SUV. In terms of design, it truly stands out from the competition. It offers features that are really not just at par with the segment, but it sets a new standard, it sets a new benchmark because it comes with many new segment first features. In fact, also the world first, the global first feature that we talked about. So in terms of design, you get a good looking vehicle, you get great features, and of course, you get a vehicle that is good to drive, you get great engine and transmission options. So all of it really adds up to this being a very good offering from Kia, considering the fact that this is the first vehicle from the brand in the country. Now, the only missing piece in the puzzle is the price, which will be announced soon. Well, it's 22nd August to be precise, and if Kia can manage to price the Seltos somewhere between 10 to about 17.5 lakh. Well, that is where it'll hit the sweet spot. And if it manages to do so, well, I have no reason to believe why the Seltos wouldn't do great. In fact, it can go on to become one of the best-selling compact SUVs in the country.